Sure, we're working. All right, hello everyone. My name is Cameron, and welcome back to your regularly scheduled nonsense. Where today we are back with another Powerwash Simulator stream in the A to Z Platinum Challenge. We're going to be continuing the career in the washroom. Really quick, as a small update of what I've done in the time since the last stream, we go back here really quick. I'm actually on one of these maps right now. We did one of the seasonal specials. It's weird to me because the seasonal specials are like... basically, you do one, and then when you do the next one, it resets it because it's like free play. So I've done this one. I've done this one. I still have these two. I don't know if I'm going to genuinely do these two or not. We might. We'll see. I also did the entirety of the Final Fantasy VII and the Warhammer 40k DLCs. These two do not, or this one doesn't have trophies, and this one was just something I'm not super interested in, so I wasn't going to like do it on the channel and waste extra time. We still have the Back to the Future jobs to finish, Wallace Gromit, Shrek, and Alice's Adventures. We're actually going to go into the Back to the Future one right now. I've also bought almost all of the attachments for the Vista Pro washer. So we're almost to that trophy being done. Yeah, we're gonna do our best to get this job finished up, I think, really quick. Powerwash, dude, I'm so excited for Powerwash Sim 2, like, not even gonna lie. I'm very excited. I'm hoping it has, like, full crossplay support, too. So you and I can play it together, and I can hate my life a little bit less while going through Powerwash Simulator 2. I wish the scaffolding was a little bit taller. Go up, you fucking moron. Oh my god, the power washer is an idiot. Doesn't know how to walk up a fucking set of stairs. You know, that's understandable. I kind of figured that's all you were gonna do. God, if you're putting me through this much mental torture, you could at least like the fucking stream, you dick. God. Understandable. It is like midnight. Like, seriously, if the scaffolding was a little bit taller, it'd be perfect. I love how with like half of these, there's like nothing visible for me to see and hit with my fucking sprayer. And yet, I'm still missing shit. Come on. It's literally just these two left, right? Okay. Pillar shafts, pillar pedestals, capitals, bases, pilaster shafts. Pilaster pedestals, capitals. I'm missing one of those still. Okay. Okay. Those are up top. Those are up top. Okay, I think I've done everything. Entrance, upper window. Damn it. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go up top now, and we're gonna go see what else is up there. I'm also starting to learn how to quick navigate things in this game, which is nice. Circle does all my cleaning liquids, squares all my extensions, triangles all my nozzles. Learning these things is definitely starting to help me. Not as much as I would hope it would, but it's definitely helping. I was going to just do this to the point where it was almost finished and then bring you guys back as I finished it. But then I realized, like, I'm already 60-something% through this. It's not really gonna, it's not like I'm saving myself a lot of time doing it off camera. It's really just starving me of content. So, figured, fuck it, we're just gonna continue it. What else do I need to do for this DLC still? I need to complete the clock tower job, which is what we're on. We need to complete the Holomex Theater job, which we need to clean the grid wall first and activate the holographic shark. And then we need to complete the train job and clean the flux and capacitor and its particle colliders first. Okay. There's actually not a whole lot to the... There's not a lot to this DLC. This is actually kind of a shorter one. Although, I guess, to be fair, 3 of the jobs on this are literally vehicles, so... man. Get this job done, go finish the last 2 for this one, get the last trophies, and then move on to the next one for the base game. So yeah, again, DLC wise, I don't know if I'm going to do the rest on camera or off camera. I haven't really decided yet. I might do the Shrek one on. I think I'm going to do the Shrek one on camera. Wallace and Gromit, even though I did watch the show a lot as a kid, I'm probably going to do that one off camera. Is something I genuinely do love, but I genuinely just don't want to take the extra time to do another DLC on camera. I kind of want to try to get through the rest of this pretty quick. And we've got about 50, I think, trophies left to go, and then we're done. So we are nearly fully done with this shit now. A lot of it is just getting remaining trophies done and out of the way. So yeah, what I might just end up doing is do the Shrek DLC on camera. Because what else do I have after this? It's Shrek, Wallace and Gromit, and Alice's Adventures, I think, right? Yeah, so I think Alice's Adventures I'm going to also do off camera. So I think the only other DLC I'll do on camera will be Shrek. Which is fine. You know, three of the DLC packs being done on camera is probably perfect for the situation. Considering I'm trying to move on to the next game, which has no guide, so like I have to hope that I can get it done pretty easily, and with no glitches or anything that stop me from getting the platinum. Again, we are under a time crunch. It is about to be September. I have, you know, we're dwindling away on months. It's the end of our 8th month. Which means we have 4 more left. We have September, October, November, December. I don't think 101 Ways to Die is going to be that hard, so like if I can get to that quickly, I'm not that worried. Like that being the end is probably going to be pretty easy. V Rising still has me a little nervous. Wanted Dead has me a little nervous as well. It's one of those things where, like, you kind of wish you could start the thing before you start the challenge, you know? But at the same time, like, if I do it that way, I'm not going to really enjoy myself with it very much. So, here's hoping that, oh, fuck. That when I get to those games, I can get through them relatively quickly and not worry too much about what I gotta do. Because, yeah, not gonna lie, those ones have me nervous. Quest Hunter, V Rising, Wanted Dead have me kind of nervous. Quest Hunter because there's no trophy guide, and then V Rising because there's no trophy guide, and I'm not sure what the game's really gonna entail as we get into it. And then, at least I don't think there's a trophy guide for that one. I think there's like a small written guide inside of the forums, but I don't think like the actual game itself has a guide written for it yet. Yeah, there's not a guide on PSN Profiles. I think it's through a different website has a trophy guide though, so I can go to that website. I think it's PlayStationTrophies.org that has it. So I can always go to that and then look through that guide for steps and everything like that on what to do. We will probably do like a custom server settings or whatever for it, just to try to make it a little bit easier, get through it a little bit faster as we go, and everything like that. But yeah, so we're getting there, man. We're slowly but surely getting there. Got a couple concerns for some of it. Ukulele is definitely one I'm a little concerned for, because I know it's a bit of a collectathon. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart is a bit of a collectathon, so that might have been a mistake to put in. I don't really know at this point. God, what else? What else is gonna be really hard? Fuck. Again, V Rising, because there's no guide, might be a little bit more difficult than like no PSN profiles guide, so I have to actually go to a site I don't use as regularly and don't know how to navigate as well. Oh man. Again, Quest Hunter because there's no guide. Saints Row just because it's Saints Row, the Saints Row reboot. Escapist shouldn't be too bad. I think there's a few multiplayer trophies, but I think I can do all of those couch co-op. I believe. Otherwise, we'll probably just set up a boost. I'll find a boosting session or something, or somebody to help me out with some of them. But if I can do all of it, if there is any multiplayer trophies, and if I can do them all couch co-op / split screen, I'm probably just gonna have Jesse jump on with me and help me out, or just grab a second controller and do all the work myself. That's basically what I did with the Escapist 2 for that platinum, for all the multiplayer shit that I couldn't do, or that I could do without having to find somebody online. Okay, so that's both Panther bases done. That's that section of roof done. I think that's all the roof sections. Why does his face look so fucking derpy, man? Dude, how have I not cleaned enough this fucking statue? I'm gonna be honest. God damn, those statues are fucking annoying. Okay. There's gotta be like some small ass speck of dirt somewhere on this that's not just that fucking top part. So I can't put that there, obviously. Can I see into that from here? I don't think so, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Ah, Christ. Okay. So... I mean, we have what I would call a fairly obvious problem of that wall being kind of impossible to get right now for some reason. Like, I don't genuinely think it's 100% impossible, but there's definitely some sort of issue with getting that spot. Wait. Fucking finally. Holy shit. That was a pain in the ass, man. Right, get this workbench done. Alright, oops, wrong button. Let's go stubby. There we go. Come on. Slow and steady progress. Right. God, it's mostly the fucking gears and shit that I gotta wash still. Ugh. God, this shit's insufferable. God, there's a lot of dings really fast as I'm talking about how insufferable this shit is. I mean, the game itself isn't insufferable, but like, all the small shit that I have to wash for this is getting kind of annoying. How the fuck have I not finished the bell still? Fucking legs of steel out here, bro. Jesus. Don't fucking tell me. Oh my god, it is. There we go. Fucking hell. This one kind of sucks. You can't even see like any of the work I did inside. Oh, I guess that's not really the point, right? Like the point is that you see what I did outside more than anything. Okay, so I have to clean the grid first. The grid wall. This is what I have to clean first. So, oh my good god, it's the thing all the way at the fucking top. Seeing that joke 10 years after this movie's setting. Oh my god. I will say though, this movie was really, really close with the guess for the Cubs winning the World Series, because they won it. Oh man, was it 2016? I think they won it the year after. Let me go look really quick. I believe they won it the year after 20. I think they won it 2016. Yeah, 2016. So they won it the year after the prediction, which is still pretty fucking insane. Now, we're nowhere near the technology, even 10 years after this was set. Nowhere near the technology that this movie had predicted we'd have at this point. We're close, but in 2015 we were nowhere near what this movie had predicted. We've started. I feel like we've kind of started to get some of the predictions, but for the vast majority of what was predicted in this movie for 2015, we were nowhere near. Let me actually, really quick, because this is something I do love to think about. So this is everything part 2 got right and wrong about 2025. So automation, it correctly anticipates an increased use of robot technology. Petrol stations these days, gas stations, are pretty much computerized, albeit not suspended in space. Non-military drones, such as the one dispatched by USA Today in the film Take a Photo, have recently experienced a surge in popularity, yet the film overstates the pace. We don't yet have remote control litter bins or dog walkers, and waiters have not been replaced by TV screens, though there are automated supermarket checkouts and things like that. Biometrics, we've obviously gotten very far in biometrics. Fingerprint scanners, face scanners, eyeball scanners, things like that have been a thing for a while now. I think, were biometrics... Yeah, I'll say we didn't have a whole lot, but we were pretty close. A lot of the closed stuff was incorrectly done. Obviously, the over-reliance on things like fax machines and stuff was wrong. Bluetooth headsets, Google Glass type stuff. Flying cars, we're still not there, unfortunately. Games consoles, hoverboards, obviously we got a type of hoverboard, but it wasn't actually a hoverboard. It was just a thing on wheels. Internet, obviously, wasn't really something there. Jaws 19, thankfully, we still haven't had more Jaws sequels. A lot of sequels and spinoffs in 3D technology. Lawyers, I wish. No, I'm just kidding. They're still there. Mobility aids. There are a lot more mobility aids nowadays. A lot of nostalgia. Old money. Yep. Obviously, we still have cash. And obviously, we have gotten a lot to. Yeah. Pizza's not the way it is there, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a lot that they did predict, which is still like crazy to think about. That far back in the past, they ended up predicting what would kind of come to be. I still think the craziest one that they got was the fact that they were only a year off on the Cubs winning the World Series. Like, the fact that the Cubs nearly did it still is absolutely batshit to me. I'm hoping this doesn't go the way of the one of the Warhammer 40k levels. You had to wash like the stowed shovel first, and I went to do it and something else got hit and cleaned right before I went to do it, so I had to finish the job and then literally go back in free play to wash literally just the stowed shovel and then move on, and it was very, very frustrating because the job kind of sucked. It was a lot to do. I will say that is another reason I'm not going to be doing all the DLC stuff on stream, is solely just down to the fact that there's a lot, and some of the jobs genuinely just weren't fun to do in one sitting. So, oh my god, another S thing. God, that thing was everywhere in my entire time growing up. That was everywhere. From my middle school days to my high school days. Not so much my high school days, but my middle school days for sure. I'm going to say this right now. Back to the Future does not need any remakes, more sequels, nothing. It's fine where it's at. It got left where it was, and it's perfectly fine to be left there. You want to make video games out of it, go for it. But, like, movies, nah. We don't need none of those. I'm fine with the 3 movies we got in the series. Alright, there we go. There is the grid wall done. Now let's figure out how to get the shark activated. So there's the projector. I mean, in the movie, he literally just, like, walks by it, man. I might have to actually look at the guide and see how to do it really quick. Ah, okay. If I go over here, we go right there. God, it looks so fucking derpy. Sharks still look fake. Damn right they do. God, I love Back to the Future. It's a series I have so much nostalgia for, and I'm glad that they didn't just do like, you know, a few things from the first movie, and that was that. They did 2 things from the first movie, obviously with the van, and then the car, and then obviously they did like the clock tower, which is kind of technically in all 3 of them to some degree. When you think about it, technically so is the car, I guess. And then they've got this one from the second movie, which is from the 2015 portion of the second movie. And then they have the train, which is from the third movie, which, look, say what you want about the third movie. The time train is fucking awesome. So, how exactly Doc Brown has lived as long as he has in that movie franchise, I'll never know. Maybe he's gone pretty Rick and Morty and he keeps going to the future and finding random, like, cool space travel shit that makes him live forever. I genuinely don't know. What I do know is Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox are 2 of the greatest actors of all time. Everything that's been happening, obviously everything that Michael J. Fox has gone through health-wise has been insane, and I'm thankful he's advocating for Parkinson's so much as he is. That is another reason I wanted to do this, is because it shows my appreciation. I can show my appreciation for 2 amazing actors. Everything he's done for Parkinson's research has greatly helped not only so many people who don't understand how it is to live with it. Not saying I have it, obviously, but also it's helped spread the word a lot and helped to raise so much money for it, because he has his own foundation for it and people donate to it all the time and things like that. And yeah, genuinely love both of them, and happy that they're both still with us, and happy to see them both happy in their lives as much as they are right now. That is the other reason I don't think these movies should be remade in any way or get more sequels is Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd are those movies. Say what you want about whatever you can. You know, you could say, oh, well, yeah, but, like, movies are made to have more movies made at some point if they have so much cultural significance. But the thing is, you ruin the cultural significance because you're not going to find people that play as well as Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox played off of each other. That was part of the charm of those movies, is they played so well off of each other, and they were able to create so much insane comedy with each other and really play the movie in ways I don't think anyone really expected them to. And that was what was fantastic about it, is that they did great with what they were given. They did great with what they were able to add to it as the actors they are. Assume he's going to tell me to step on the red X. I'm going to do it again. I think it's cool. It's so derpy. And I don't think Back to the Future needs to have more movies or needs to be remade in any way. I think, like I said, the third movie ended perfectly. I think we got a good story out of the movies we got, and not having Michael J. Fox, not having Christopher Lloyd in them would just ruin them. It would ruin the legacy and the significance I feel Back to the Future has as a franchise if we remade it or if we were making a bunch of sequels. It's kind of the same thing. It's the same way I felt about the Crow remake with Bill Skarsgård. I love Bill Skarsgård. He's a fantastic actor. But I also don't think that the Crow needed to be remade at all. I think it was perfect where it was. I think that even the direct-to-video sequels were not needed. And I think by remaking it, you kind of look at Brandon Lee's legacy and you say it's not really important to you because, you know, he died making that movie. And I think we didn't need to see it be remade, even if it's with an actor as talented as Bill Skarsgård. I think it could have just been left alone, and Hollywood needs to come up with new ideas rather than keep rehashing the same stuff. Same way I feel about remaking The Princess Bride. I don't think it needs to be done. I think it's a perfect movie the way it is. I think, if for nothing else, Carrie Elwes and Mandy Patinkin have both made it very well known how they feel about the idea of it being remade. And that's enough for me. I don't need anyone else's opinion on it other than theirs. Like, if the original actors are saying it's perfect where it's at and it doesn't need to be touched, don't touch it. I think Back to the Future is very much in the same way. You know, it's what it is, and it's never needing to be touched. Don't touch it. Don't remake it. Don't do anything. I'm sure there will be a point in time when it's, you know, 30, 40 years from now, and people are gonna, and Hollywood will be even more fucking morally bankrupt on ideas, that they'll just say, yeah, well, nothing's sacred anymore. We're gonna remake everything. But at that point, who cares? You know, I probably won't really be. I mean, what would I be, like 70 years old? I probably wouldn't really be as focused on it at that point. I'm amazed in the 30 years since the first movie came out that it hasn't been remade already. Yeah, I think, genuinely speaking, perfect films don't really exist, but movies that are to a degree perfect do. I think the entire Back to the Future franchise is a set of those movies. I think The Princess Bride is one of those movies. Actually, to be fair, I'm going to contradict myself. I do think The Princess Bride is a perfect movie, but that's just because I really fucking love that movie. It is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. But Back to the Future, that trilogy and The Princess Bride are near perfect films that should never be remade or touched in any way, shape, or form. I think the cultural significance those movies has is more important than whatever money could be made out of remaking them. And then obviously that brings to a point like, oh, well, what about movies that get turned into like a TV series at some point? And the obvious like ideas that people can bring up for that are like Percy Jackson and Harry Potter. And I'm going to say this right now. Harry Potter is already a morally bankrupt franchise because of who made the franchise, being, you know, that being J.K. Rowling, who is a massive transphobe and uses all of her money to donate to anti-trans organizations. So I don't give a flying fuck about that. But at the end of the day, that's just because WB is a morally bankrupt company. So they do not give a fuck that they're giving more money to her. And I'm going to say this right now. Harry Potter was popular enough. She should not need to keep fucking rehashing shit. She should not need to keep making more shit out of it. She's gotten, what, 10 movies out of it, right? Because there's 7, I believe, 7 Harry Potter movies, and then the 3 Fantastic Beasts movies, right? And then, wait, how many Fantastic Beasts movies were there? Were there 3 or were there only 2? Aha, there were 3. That's what I thought. And then there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And yeah, so 10 movies, all the books, which I think there's even a new one, right? Like the one that the new play is based on or something. So all the books, the movies, and like countless video games, plus the remake or the re-release of like the Harry Potter games that came out not that long ago. The Lego Harry Potter games, I should specify. And then now she's getting a TV series. And I don't think a TV series is needed for Harry Potter. I may not like it, but it was already a perfect movie franchise as it was. It definitely did not need to be remade. It definitely did not need to have the casting choices that they made. Like, don't get me wrong, some of them are really good, and I can understand like diversity for this, you know, for trying to diversify the cast. But some things are going to be really not taken well. Like Snape, for instance, is probably not going to be taken well by a lot of people. I've already seen a lot of people talking about how that was not a good casting choice because of because of his character arc and everything like that. It's already going to look really bad. Like, it's already a really bad storyline. But now that you have a African American, or I don't actually know if the actor's from America or not. He might be British. But now that you have an actual, you know, an actor who is black playing it, it's going to look even worse, and it's going to make that look even worse than it already did in the original. But then you also have just the fact that, like, it's a lot of people's childhoods, and they already don't really like J.K. Rowling anymore, and it's ruined the childhoods for a lot of people. And now you're making Harry Potter for a new generation, which just doesn't need to be a thing, I feel like. Like, Harry Potter is already a thing, but, like, a lot of this generation is not going to raise their kids on Harry Potter anymore. Like, I already wasn't going to raise my kids on Harry Potter before she, you know, came out as a massive piece of shit person. But, like, I feel like the people who were are probably like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with Harry Potter in my life anymore because I can't stand for that. And then, obviously, you're going to have the people that don't give a fuck and are still just the most vile human beings alive. But, you know, that's never going to change, unfortunately. But to go to the point of Percy Jackson, that movie series flopped really hard. I think it deserved to have new life breathed into it. I just kind of wish that they were making the series faster than they are. I get, obviously, they can only film so much, so fast, and everything like that, but I feel like they're going to end up Stranger Thingsing themselves, where they're not going to be working on it fast enough, and then it's going to end up turning into a situation where the kids are aging like 10 years between seasons, it looks like. Which is always the problem with TV shows where you have child actors and things like that, is they obviously age, and they visibly age a lot more than adults do. So, like, you're going to have this situation where you have, and Stranger Things is the perfect example of that. Obviously, COVID did stop it, but, like, even before COVID, they took forever to make new seasons of that show, it felt like. And it was just one of those things of, like, you guys could be going so much faster, so that way the jump in the way they look is not as bad. Obviously, avoid crunch time, but, like, you guys could have done a lot of work on this while, you know, you had time. Just try to get some of the base stuff done, and then worked on it later, you know? Or, like, here's an idea. You already know Netflix is throwing all the money at you. Film 2 seasons at the same time, you know? Film a season, have the editing team working on that while you film the next season. You're doing, like, what is it? Like, hold up. Let me go to Netflix on my phone really quick. Because I'm going to point out how stupid this idea is, that they do the things they do the way they do. And obviously, like I said, avoid crunch time, because that's not a good thing either. But, like, I just want the TV show. I just want the TV show. There we go. Okay. So season 1 of Stranger Things had 8 episodes. Season 2 had 9 episodes. Season 3 had 8 episodes. Now, obviously, some of these are like over an hour and things like that, so it makes sense. Season 4 had 9 episodes, with some of them being over an hour and some of them being 2 hours and over 2 hours and things like that. And that's fine. You know, I get it. You guys are filming hour-plus long episodes, and that makes sense. That, yeah, sometimes maybe you can't film that much. But it's 8 or 9 episodes. It would not be that hard to film more of that. Because here's the thing. Here's how TV used to work. When TV was normal and didn't have 8-episode seasons on every fucking streaming platform, they would have 22-episode long seasons. And they would do, like, half of those in one batch of shooting, get all the editing that they might need to do for the editing and all that crap done. They'd go to a point where they're, like, halfway through the season, and then they'd film the rest of the season, and then that would be out, or, you know, like, they'd have a break somewhere between that, have a mid-season finale a lot of the time for certain shows, and then that way they didn't crunch time their editors and things like that. They could get everything done and set up, and then they would put out the other half of the episodes. This bullshit where things are 8 or 9 episodes, even if it's an hour long, that's still absolute bullshit, by the way. Like, okay, cool, I have 8 hours of content, and then you guys are gonna wait 3 fucking years to film more, and then it's gonna look really jarring, because now when I go back to watch this, why did they age 6 fucking years in one season is the stupidest thing. So it's like, you guys could definitely be filming 2 seasons back to back. It's not like Netflix didn't want to give them the money for it. Like, they had renewal up to, like, season 4 already. You could have done 3 and 4 at the same time. They may have done that. I don't fully remember. I didn't hear much about... I obviously don't follow much about Stranger Things. And yes, obviously the actors are busy with other projects, or at least some of them are. I don't think the kid who plays Will is doing much in his line of work at this point. I think Stranger Things is really all he's got. But the other actors obviously are having other projects that they're doing and stuff like that. So I understand that. But, like, as far as I know, Millie Bobby Brown literally just has Netflix. That's all of her shit that she's getting is Netflix roles. Like, she's got the Enola Holmes stuff, and then she's got Stranger Things. I'm like, couldn't you... Like, you could definitely make that work. Finn Wolfhard, the guy who plays, what's his name? Mike, in the series, I think is probably one of the more busy of the cast, because he's got, like, actual acting credits to his name, like, the Ghostbusters movies and shit like that, or the 2 Ghostbusters movies he's in, so that makes sense. He obviously probably would have a struggle to do 2 seasons back to back, but, like, dude, it shouldn't be that hard for that. And obviously, again, the other thing too, obviously, is it comes down to a lot of child acting laws and things like that, which are fair, but you could get so much done in a year and not have this issue where the characters look 7 years older the next time you have a season. And again, like I said, COVID got in the way a lot of that. I'm not going to say it didn't. COVID did affect production on many shows, including Stranger Things. But I feel like they still could have done, at the very least, like 2 seasons, like seasons 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 or something back to back, to avoid as much of an issue as the aging has shown to be now. But again, I really don't like Stranger Things. I think Netflix is kind of it's all Netflix has. I feel like at times, it's all they focus on. It's what they focused on the entire time. They've had so many good shows that have come and gone in the same time that Stranger Things has been working on 5 seasons of supernatural sci-fi crap. And it's like, don't get me wrong, Stranger Things has a cool premise, but at the same time, you have all these other shows that you're not promoting, that you're just letting fall by the wayside because you want to focus on Stranger Things and only Stranger Things. Like 4 or 5 different shows had a single season, didn't get nearly as much marketing as they should have, and then got canceled. The Umbrella Academy, which is in my opinion a better show than Stranger Things, just because of it has a source material, it's directed better, the actors are fantastic and everything like that. Had what, 4 or 5 seasons? Had the seasons coming out a lot faster than Stranger Things did, and then got canceled because it's not Stranger Things, and because I'm assuming political reasons to do with Elliot Page. I really don't know for sure, but still didn't get nearly as much attention or marketing as it should have been. Like Netflix, if you guys want people to watch these shows so they're not a fucking massive failure of money that you can cancel after 1 season, maybe market things besides the same fucking 2 shows. Maybe market things besides Squid Game and Stranger Things, and you guys would have more fucking people watching your shows. I'm gonna say this right now. What the fuck was it called now? Daybreak, fantastic show, made off, based off of a comic and everything like that. Really good movie, or a really good show. Had a great cast. The first season was fantastic. Had a Ferris Bueller style fourth wall break from the main character played by Colin Ford. Great story and everything like that. 1 season, because they didn't fucking market it at all, so not enough people watched it, and by the time people did finally watch it, it had already been canceled. So, like, Netflix, this is your own fault for not marketing your shit better. It's not that fucking hard to market things when you're a multi-billion-dollar company. Unless you're just fucking lazy and you want tax write-offs, which, again, streaming service companies, morally bankrupt, most likely just want tax write-offs. Makes sense. Again, going back to super morally bankrupt, look at what fucking WB has been doing for like the last 3 years. WB/HBO, I should say, by the way. But yeah, I think Netflix has bitten themselves in the ass with the amount of content they've created and then canceled. Like, here's the thing. You can say whatever you want about Amazon Prime as far as, like, Jeff Bezos goes, with him being just a morally corrupt person, which he is. I'm not going to say he's not. Amazon is obviously also morally corrupt. They're trying to, outdo small businesses that can't afford to do what Amazon does, and that makes sense. I get why people say it's morally bankrupt. It definitely fucking is. However, at least with their shows, they're not just fucking pump and dumping 1 season slop constantly, or 1 season fucking bangers that then get canceled. They've actually got a decent lineup of shows. The Boys and the stuff that's surrounding that franchise. Now, don't get me wrong, The Boys has also taken long as fuck to get to its 5 seasons, but there is so much fucking editing and CGI that has to go into that show, so that makes a lot more sense. Granted, there's a lot that has to go into Stranger Things as well, but again, if you're working with child actors, you should know that they're going to age between seasons, and eventually it's going to be a point where they grow out of looking like they did in the fucking season prior. You need to think that through a lot more, and I think they could have easily done, the first 2 seasons, or the second and third season, or the 4th and 5th season at the same time. Just film them all at the same time, and then just start editing it down around the same time, just to make it go through faster and avoid them aging more between each season and making it look worse, because that's the problem. They split, and again, like I said, COVID did take part of that, but like they split like 3 years between 2 seasons basically, and it's like you guys genuinely did this to yourselves, I feel like, first off. But secondly, like, it hasn't even been that good of a quality of a show from everything I've heard from people who have watched every season up to this point. Like, season 1 was good. Season 2, a lot of people didn't really like. This happened to me the other day. I just realized, like, this happened to me earlier today when I was playing one of the Warhammer levels. Was it didn't let me pick my fucking scaffolding back up for some reason. Like, it almost like it went into a glitch spot and just didn't want to work again. Cool. Love when that happens. The only way I was able to fix it was literally leaving the job and then going to another job and then coming back to the job, and then it fixed, because it resets everything when you do that. But I'm not in the mood to do that. We're just going to keep going. But yeah, I don't know. I think, personally speaking, Netflix just does the stupidest shit when it comes to their shows, and then they expect people to still pay for it. And then they cancel all these really good shows, and they still expect people to pay for it. And then they remove a shitload of good shows, and they still expect people to pay for it. And then they raise the price. And so, you know what I mean? Netflix has just been doing worse and worse every single year. Like, Hulu's combating them better. Fucking Disney Plus, honestly, even HBO Max to a point is doing better than them. Apple TV Plus is doing pretty good. And I hate Apple. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not an Apple person. I do not like them. I think they're a shitty company as well, and I think most of what they do is terrible. But, like, Ted Lasso is a banger of a TV show. They have Monarch Legacy of Monsters. They have Severance. They have a lot of really good fucking shows on there for how kind of crap the rest of Apple stuff normally is. They have some really good shows. So Netflix needs to step up its game, and unfortunately it hasn't been. Wednesday, I've heard, is really good. But, again, it also comes down to the point of they have this issue where they let their showrunners basically treat their fucking talent like shit, and people can defend whatever they want, but it's happened on 2 separate fucking Netflix shows at this point, and it's probably just going to continue happening because they don't fucking fire their showrunners when they're acting like fucking entitled assholes and being shitty to the fucking talent. For people who don't know the story, and I've rehashed it, I've talked about this a lot actually in my life, because it's a point I always like to make. Henry Cavill left the Witcher TV series, and I'm gonna say this right now: most people watch that TV series for Henry Cavill because they know he understands the character, and obviously once what was found out about it was found out, you know, the reason he left, once that was found out, a lot more people said they didn't want to watch the show. I'll put it this way: I don't even really like the franchise very much. Like, I haven't played many of the games or anything like that. I've never read any of the books. I played a little bit of The Witcher 3. That's about my length of work within the Witcher franchise. But Henry Cavill idolizes those books. He loves those books. Same with Warhammer 40K, which is why a lot of people are really excited for the movies he's going to be producing and stuff for that. But the showrunner was acting like shit about him, saying, "Oh, well, I'm the showrunner, you have to do what I say, blah, 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 blah," even though it was shit that Geralt would never do. And Henry, being a massive fucking fan of the books, knew that. And the showrunner basically just continued to badmouth him and act like he was just being an entitled asshole. And eventually Henry just said, "You know what? Fine, I'm not dealing with this shit. I quit." And they replaced him with Liam Hemsworth, and then basically announced that the 2 seasons Liam was going to be doing would be the only 2 seasons of the show left, because people were not happy that Henry left once what was found out was found out. And it's like, and then the same thing happened on Wednesday with Jenna Ortega and the showrunners over there. Was this isn't stuff Wednesday's character would do, and they're like, "Oh, well, it makes for good TV, so you got to do it." It's like, yeah, but you're ruining the character. Here's the thing: if you don't understand the character, you have no fucking right to bitch at an actor who actually gives a fuck about the project and is trying to do the project well. And the worst part is, Jenna Ortega is in her 20s, so she's got not nearly as much life experience and has not been on this earth nearly as long as Henry Cavill has been, and should definitely not be being yelled at by somebody who's probably in like their 40s or something like that, who's treating Jenna Ortega like a fucking child. And same thing the showrunner on The Witcher was doing, was treating Henry Cavill like a fucking child. Like, I'm sorry that I'd rather have people who completely understand the character, who go to fucking bat to make sure the character is being done justice, rather than somebody who doesn't understand the character and wants to sit there and badmouth the actors who are passionate about these characters and care about these characters. Because I'm going to say this right now, not enough actors care about the characters they're playing in their roles. And not to, hate on Millie Bobby Brown, she's kind of one of those people who does not give a shit about what her character would do in certain things. Because if you listen to her interviews, she doesn't go to movies, she doesn't watch TV, she does not give a fuck about this type of media. She's just doing it for a paycheck. And I'm like, and she's like, that's why I do stuff I don't care about. Like, that's not good because I don't care. I'm not going to watch it anyway. And it's like, then why even be in this fucking career? Why be an actor or an actress if you don't like movies and you don't like TV shows? Because obviously if you're making stuff that you don't care about, that you're not going to go see, why should anybody else go see it? And Henry Cavill and Jenna Ortega very much caring about their characters is kind of a big reason why I kind of stopped wanting to watch anything on Netflix in the first place, was because why should I watch it when this is how you're treating the people who are making your content, who are literally doing all of a huge amount of the work to make this production the way it is and to make it something watchable. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to treat your actors that way, there's no reason for me to want to watch your show. And Netflix has not stepped up to try to make the working conditions better, because the stories about The Witcher and Wednesday, I'm pretty sure were like a year apart. And it's like, you're really going to just let your fucking showrunners do whatever they want and treat their actors like shit and not do anything about it and not try to, like, fix that issue to, make the actors feel more like they're fucking heard and like they're actually cared about. Like, okay, cool then, Netflix, fuck you. Why should I watch your shows then? Like, genuine question, why should I watch Netflix's shows and movies when their showrunners and the people making their movies don't care enough to treat their actors with actual respect? Like, I'm going to say this right now. The God of War show at Amazon, I'm nervous as fuck about. Because if it's not going to follow Kratos the way he should be followed and actually have the character be treated with the respect he deserves, why should I want to watch it? That's my favorite part about Cory Balrog being on the producing staff of that show. Because if he sees something that he doesn't like, he's going to voice it. And that's genuinely one of my favorite things, is you have these people who work on these characters, who are passionate about these characters, and are going to focus on making sure they're done justice for the fans. And say what you want about the way Ragnarok went and everything like that, because I know a lot of people don't like God of War Ragnarok, and that's fair. That's your opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it shows that Kratos as a person has grown. Not Kratos the god. He's not fueled by anger and rage anymore. He's fueled by trying to set a better example for his son. Trying to avoid making the same mistakes he made in the past with Calliope and his first wife. Like, I don't understand, like, the fact I get a lot of people probably have never played the Greek saga enough to focus on the story. Or if they have, they really just didn't care and they just wanted him to be the same rageful, vengeful asshole he was back then. And he still is that. Don't get me wrong. He is still the same rageful, vengeful asshole. He has grown as a person, though. And he is trying to learn from his past mistakes and avoid setting himself up to face through what he went through in the past again in his future. Instead of watching Atreus die, he got to watch Atreus move on with his life to go do his own thing, his own separate thing, regardless of what Kratos' path was. And he got to actually see Atreus grow up rather than die in his arms. Like, you can say what you want about the way that game was written and the way that game's story went, but in my opinion, there was nothing wrong about it. I think it went perfectly fine. I think the game told the story that Cory and the guys wanted to tell over at Sony Santa Monica, and I think they told it well. And people can be pissed off about that as much as they want, But at the end of the day, at least they didn't pull a Naughty Dog. See, because here's the difference. Here's the difference between what happened with Ragnarok and The Last of Us Part 2. And I'm going to say this right now. As somebody who hasn't played The Last of Us Part 2, I don't have a whole lot of room to talk on this one. But if I wanted to end my story with a moral judgment of revenge not being worth it, I maybe wouldn't have my character who's seeking revenge go through the entirety of the story, murdering every single person in her path on that path to revenge, just to then at the end say, revenge isn't worth it. I'm gonna let the person die who's right in front of me that literally killed my father figure. I'm like, huh? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Sorry, it doesn't. And people can say, oh, well, you haven't played it, so you don't understand it. But that's the general sentiment I've heard from most people, is that The Last of Us Part 2 didn't have a good ending because solely based on the fact that they tried to tell a lesson with it, but the lesson made no sense in context to the rest of the game. Like, you had all of these people who Ellie kills on the entire journey throughout The Last of Us Part 2, just to then get to Abby and then not kill her and just let her go. Because here's the thing. You could have had that whole idea of the moral situation be put out in front of the player and gave the player the choice of, do you want to kill this person? Do you want revenge? Or do you want to let this person live because revenge is not worth it? However, to have Ellie go through the entire game murdering every single person in her path, setting up God knows how many more countless revenge stories for people who have loved ones of those people and things like that and want to in some way avenge that person potentially, just to then say revenge is not worth it and you can't kill Abby. And people rightfully said that was bullshit and it was stupid, because it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest Neil Druckmann fan because I think he's overrated. I do. I don't think he's as good of a writer as some people, and especially himself, make him out to be. He's not a fucking genius with writing. The Last of Us is good, and he's rode that high literally the entire time, since people are like, oh, it's a cinematic masterpiece, it's written so well, and Neil Druckmann has ridden that high the entire time. Don't get me wrong, love the Uncharted series. They're written like shit. Also written by Neil Druckmann and crew over at Naughty Dog. Don't know if he was the head writer on that or not, or if he was just one of the studio, one of the people working on it. But yeah, like, genuinely speaking, The Last of Us is a good story. The first game. The second game has this idea of moral ambiguity that doesn't play into it, or this moral dilemma that doesn't play into it because the player has no choice in it. It shouldn't be a situation of you have to not kill her, like, oh yeah, you're not allowed to kill her, sorry, haha. It should definitely be a, do you want to kill this person? Do you want to take revenge, or do you think it's empty and it's not something you should continue going for? And I think that's the biggest reason people didn't like The Last of Us Part 2. And now they have another game coming out, which I kind of am excited for. Like, it looks interesting. I like space travel games, so that's cool. But at the same time, I know it's Naughty Dog, so I'm prepared for it to be jack diddly fucking shit on the goddamn, to like not care jack diddly squat one little bit about the story at the end of the day, because it's probably going to end up being some bullshit fucking thing that Neil Druckmann's gonna like stroke his ego with. And remember, I am a PlayStation fan. But at the same time, I'm also a video game fan, and I like writers and storytellers who are going to tell me a story in a way that's not going to fucking tell me what I should think and what I should feel. Because at the end of the day, you have an emotional connection with Joel. You should 1000% be able to kill Abby. I'm sorry, you should. It should be the player's choice. It should not be, here's a moral lesson, revenge isn't worth it. Then, okay, because here's the biggest issue with that. Number one, Abby took revenge for her father. To avenge her father, she kills Joel. Joel kills basically the scientists in the end of the first game, the Firefly scientist that Joel kills. One of those is Abby's father. I think the first one he kills is Abby's father. She decides to take revenge on Joel because he killed her father, which, granted, again, they've explained multiple times, like, it's been basically explained to death that most likely there was no beating that there was no real cure, and Ellie was going to die for no reason. A lot of people have pointed that out. I've seen it pointed out a lot where, yeah, basically that cure wasn't going to work, and Ellie was probably going to die for no reason. Joel pretty much made the right choice by not just letting her die. Was it an emotional choice? For sure. He didn't know it wasn't going to work. He didn't think about it from that standpoint. He thought about it in a I've already watched my one daughter die. I'm not going to watch my surrogate daughter die as well. And genuinely, it's stupid that they have Abby get her revenge, and then when you see Joel die by Abby, when all this happens, you don't get to fucking go get that same revenge as Ellie. Like, that's just stupid. It's just cowardly writing to want to make the players feel something, but you're telling them what they need to feel, and it's dumb. It's like, number one, the players should be allowed to feel whatever they want. They shouldn't be told how they should feel and what their decisions should be made. And I'm going to say this right. I'm saying this right now after talking about God of War Ragnarok. But God of War Ragnarok's not trying to fucking paint some moral lesson. It's showing character growth by Kratos. He's not going through the whole game on a giant quest for revenge. He's just going through the game trying to keep his son alive and trying to figure out why Odin is trying to basically end him in this situation, even though none of what's happened has been Kratos' fault. Like, Baldur, not his fault. Magni and Modi, not really his fault either. None of that was really his fault. That was just, hey, I'm trying to enjoy my life here, and you guys are just fucking making my life hell. You've kind of brought this on yourselves, you know? I don't think the lesson that's telling you is wrong. It is a good lesson. He didn't want to be in the situation he was in. He wanted to just enjoy his life with his son. He wanted to continue living his life and let his son go through his choices. And the whole point of God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok is that Kratos is trying to teach Atreus how to not be him. That is his biggest lesson. And then Atreus leaves at the end to go be with other giants and to go live in that way, you know? And I'm excited to see what we might potentially get if they continue Atreus' story. Because personally speaking, while I hated Atreus in the first game, I think Sonny did a fantastic job in the second game. And I talked about this a lot. Like, he did a great job in the first game making me not like him. And he did a great job in the second game making me like him. And Sonny deserves his flowers for that. Like, absolutely did fantastic. Really looking forward to seeing what they might potentially do with Atreus in the future over at Sony Santa Monica. But it's not trying to teach you this moral lesson of you need to be bigger than revenge after literally watching this other person get their revenge. You don't get to get yours. That's just such a fucking, like, rug pull of a fucking move at the end of that game. And that's what bothers me about the way The Last of Us 2 was done, is you don't get that option. How do you know it's not worth it? In my opinion, it's worth it still. Because if Abby got to get her revenge, and Ellie has gone on this huge quest of murder to get hers, why would you remove the ability to get it at the last possible second? Right as you're about to kill her, you then don't get to do it, and you get to watch her just fucking sail off in a boat. You used to watch her just leave on that fucking little motorboat. Like, why is that the way this game has to end? And I'm going to say this right now. It's not the way the game has to end. It's the way they chose to make it end. Because instead of letting you have some sort of choice, they just want to let you fucking go through this huge quest for revenge and then not be able to get it. And personally speaking, that is bullshit. And then again, going back to God of War Ragnarok, you have this idea that Odin is trying to get revenge for something, and that Thor is trying to get revenge for something, and at the end of the day, their revenge is more based to Magni and Modi. But the problem is, and I guess to some degree Baldur, but the problem is Baldur was sent by them, and what happened to them was because of Odin. And that's what Thor ends up learning, basically, is, yeah, my kids and my brother, because I think Baldur, if I remember correctly, Baldur's his brother, were killed because my father's own arrogance and his own desire to be the most powerful being in the world. rather than an actual reason for them to have died. It's just Odin sent them out to die, basically. Knowing what would happen, he sent them out, and then he pinned it on Kratos. He tried to make it seem like it was them who did it, and then pushed it to the point of, this is what they deserve, all this bullshit. It's nuanced as hell to the way Odin manipulates and treats people like shit, and that's honestly basically who Odin as a figure in the mythology is too, and same with how Zeus is in the mythology. They're both just terrible fucking people who are more focused on trying to be powerful than they are on anything else. They want absolute power, and then they want to stomp out anyone who gets in the way of that, basically. And it's honestly written really well. There are people who try to avoid their destiny by any means necessary, and then when they try to avoid their destiny, it ends up coming for them in a way that they didn't expect, and then they end up facing it anyway, and then they still die. Like, that's Odin's whole story, and Zeus's whole story is basically trying to avoid the prophecy and the destiny of what their life is going to be. To some degree in the normal mythology, but in the actual games mythology, like, that's the entirety of their story, is both of them trying to avoid a prophecy that was told to them long ago, just to then basically end up facing that prophecy in a way that they weren't prepared for, because they were too stupid to realize that trying to avoid prophecy is just going to make it... Trying to avoid your destiny is basically just going to make it come sooner, is the gist. I'm going to have to leave this job really quick so we can go get the fucking thing fixed. So we're going to go load up the washroom job really quick. Continue. And resume. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. I think... Here's the other problem now. After that, you have very little ability for what you can do with The Last of Us in the future, I feel like. You know, the way that story ended, what more is there for Ellie to do at this point, you know? Like, I feel like Ellie as a character now, there's, like, what else is she gonna do? She's just kind of... It's just kind of done for her. Like, is there going to be more to The Last of Us? Probably not, because I don't think they're going to find a way to make it work better than what they had already. Do I have multi-purpose soap? Oh, I do. Let me get this thing the fuck out of my way. I don't know. I may never finish The Last of Us as a series. I don't know if I'll end up doing any of the any of the platinums for it. I have The Last of Us on my PS4. I have the remaster of that. I have The Last of Us Part 2 on my PS4. I have not picked up any version of it on my PS5 because I don't really care. Again, I'm not paying money for a game I don't really have interest in playing. When I bought The Last of Us Part 2, it was because it was on sale for like $19 at GameStop, and I thought, you know what, might as well. And this was back when I first started my job at Fat Belly, so I've had it for 3 years now. And then they made the remaster that I don't think was needed. I'm going to be honest. For people who want to say, oh, well, the version on the PS5 was needed, it's much better. They could have released it at the same fucking time. The game came out in 2020. What stopped them from releasing it on the PS5 as well? Nothing. They wanted more money. That was the only thing. Naughty Dog has this thing, and Sony has this thing to a degree too, where they like to just re-release shit a platform later for the extra price, but like, you didn't need to fucking do that with The Last of Us. It could have been released, or The Last of Us Part 2, it could have been released on both the PS5 and PS4 at the same time. And I don't think you need to do The Last of Us Complete Edition for PS5 either. Like, that was also kind of a slap in the face. How much fucking money is Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog going to try to get out of this one fucking game? Like, you didn't re-release all of the fucking Uncharted games for it. Why the fuck did you re-release all of the fucking Last of Us, all 2 Last of Us games for the PS5? I would have rather they did a fucking Uncharted collection again for the PS5 and had the entire fucking Uncharted collection on PS5. Because I think, what do they have? What is on PS5 Uncharted wise? Is it literally just Lost Legacy and 4? Hold up. Uncharted. I accidentally put an M instead of an N. So, the Legacy of Thieves collection, which is literally just 4 and Lost Legacy. Yeah, that's literally just 4 and Lost Legacy. And then they have Uncharted, The Lost Legacy on PS4, obviously. Then there's Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, and Drake's Deception on PS3. And then there's all 3 of those also on PS4 from when they released as part of the Uncharted collection when like the gold PS4s were at Taco Bell. Fun fact, by the way, besides winning my Glacier White PS4 from Taco Bell that gave me Destiny back in 2014, I think it was, or 2015, no, 2014. I also, a year later, to the day, won a gold PS4 with Uncharted collection for my brother, and then basically he gave me the game. I said, hey, I really like the Uncharted series, can I keep the game? He's like, yeah, go for it. And then he also he's like, I kind of really wanted that game, so I wish I would have, kept it. So then I ended up buying him that same game for Christmas, basically. It was like, here, I know it's not the one that you got with it, and yada, 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 but, like, here's this to make up for that kind of sort of thing. But yeah, so I won 2 different PS4s, have yet to win any other fucking contest from Taco Bell. I think they just see my name and they say, yeah, no, this kid's won twice, we don't need him to win again. Another fun fact, I wasn't even 18 when I won the first one, or the second one. So I was not able to actually, no. I may have been 18, hold up, let me actually look. Let me actually look really quick. So yeah, the first one I won in October of 2014. And then I won the second one straight up one whole year after. In October 28th of 2015. So I was still under the age of 18 for both of those contests. My cousin was the one who put in all the over 18 information and signed for it and everything like that for the first one, and I think I may have just sent the second one straight to my brother. I don't remember, to be honest. No, I didn't. I got that one at my place, and then he came and picked it up. I think my mom signed for that one at the time. But yeah, two PS4s a year apart, and then can't win any of their Xbox giveaways, can't win any PS5 giveaways, nothing. Just two PS4s back to back. I used all my luck, and then Taco Bell saw that I won twice and said, yeah, no, we're never letting this kid enter again. All right, let's move this over here. Let's hope it doesn't get fucking stuck. There's the base done. There's the wall done. What else do I still have left? I had one more, right? Right over there. Okay. We have the entry pillars, which are these ones. Okay, then we have the lower side window frame. Then we have the curtain walls. Oh. Here we go. Now the two upper feature walls, which are these ones right here. There we go. And then we have the movie posters. There we go. 2015. You mean we're in the future? Nah, we're actually 10 years in the fucking past right now. God, that feels weird to say. Alright, Doc's Time Train. So for this one, we have to wash... How long have I been streaming, actually? I think about it. 1 hour and 45 minutes. Not bad. This one, we just have to wash the flux capacitor and its particle colliders first. So, we're going to immediately go to flux capacitor. Let me double check what this one wants me to do specifically, just to make sure I don't need to do the flux capacitor housing and everything like that. I think it's just the capacitor, and it's whatever the fuck it said. Flux capacitor and the 3 particle colliders. Watch these wash these 4 specific things before anything else. Strip will pop is located on the front of the train. So I'm assuming that means it's right. Aha, it is right here. There we go. Now, to just go through all of it and get it washed up and taken care of. And then once we're done with this, we've officially finished the Back to the Future DLC. I love how, like, badass and steampunky the front of this thing looks. I mean, this whole train looks very steampunk, but, like, the front, especially with this fucking giant-ass fucking fin on its front time loop knife. What the fuck? Is it to cut through the time-space continuum? On a side note, there is a Back to the Future game from like, I don't know if it was from Telltale or if it's a company similar to Telltale. I'd have to look to be sure. But it was episodic on PS3, and unfortunately, I can only do the first episode because I didn't have. My dad had never bought the rest of the episodes of it, basically, so I could. And you can't buy them anymore; they've been delisted. So you can buy like the full disc, the disc which has like all of it, but it's in one go, like in one trophy list on the disc. So it's like I could do that and then play through it and get all the trophies, but I'm still not going to be able to fucking finish the episodes separately to get all of those done. So I'm gonna have like the first episode just sitting on my thing forever by itself, which is just really funny to me personally speaking. May end up trying to look for a copy of the disc version though at some point and going through all of it. Trying to figure out the one spot on that thing you fucking missed when it's that clean is really annoying, by the way. God damn it, YouTube. Stop glitching my fucking comments out and giving me the same 3 comments from Hunter over and over again. This is very frustrating. Apparently the Rogue Prince of Persia got shadow dropped on PlayStation Plus today. Interesting. It's really funny too because I literally just picked up the whole reboot trilogy of Prince of Persia. Or not reboot trilogy, the remake of the second... Well, I guess it technically is the reboot trilogy. Like the remake of the second reboot series, basically. So, for those of you who don't know, Prince of Persia came out in the 80s. Like, the first games came out way in the 80s. And then in... Oh, fuck, I want to say the 90s? Or early 2000s. I think early 2000s. They had a trilogy come out that was a reboot of the franchise. Now, you can say this right now. It was no reboot because nobody cared about the story, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Still technically a reboot. Whether my friend Alex wants to bitch about it or not, it is still technically a reboot. Does not matter if nobody cared about the story originally. It is a reboot of the series to restart the story. Came out, and that got an HD remaster on the PS3, which I just recently picked up. I just then picked up the 2012 reboot, which was like the second reboot. Around 2012, I think, is when it came out, at least. I could be wrong. I don't exactly remember what year, which also has trophies. And then I have, I don't remember what the fucking name of it is. The one that came out a couple years ago, that came out like last year. I have that one as well. So I could technically do the Rogue Prince of Persia, and then I think that's every Prince of Persia video game that has trophy support possible to be done, which is absolutely insane to me that I can say I can do all of the Prince of Persia series. So, when I'm doing my list for next year, if there's a hefty amount of Prince of Persia games, guys, you know why. Although I think the first one in the original reboot trilogy only has like 13 trophies or something like that. With a platinum, surprisingly, though. You don't see that very often, where there's a very short amount of games or of trophies and they still have a platinum. A lot of the time they typically don't have a platinum if they have like under a certain amount of trophies. But That one's got it, and it's got a very short trophy list. I think it's mostly like literally just for beating the game. Up, there we go. But yeah, pretty excited to be jumping into the Prince of Persia games soon. Haven't played any of them in a long time. I think the last time I would have played any of them would have been on PS2, which I think that's when the original that trilogy came out at least. Hold up, let me double check. So if we go to Prince of Persia and we go look at the full series. So obviously the first game, the original game came out in 1989 for the Apple II, and apparently has ports to a bunch of different shit as well, including the NES, the Game Gear, the Game Boy Color, apparently the Xbox 360 Classic, the PS3 Classic, a bunch of other shit that got ported. So that was the first game. Then they have Prince of Persia 2, The Shadow and the Flame, which was also on a bunch of different shit, including the Xbox as like a bonus thing. Then there's Prince of Persia 3D, which is called Prince of Persia Arabian Nights. It's the first 3D in the Prince of Persia series, and the final game in the trilogy that started with the original 1989 game. So that's the first trilogy, the original continuity. And then there's Prince of Persia Harem Adventures, which I think is like a spin-off of the 3D one. Then you have, in 2003, you have Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. This is the Sands of Time continuity. And then there's obviously the reboot continuity and then other continuities. So Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, Warrior Within, Revelations, which is... it's just a sequel to Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Oh, wait, no. Oh, that must be a DLC for Warrior Within. Then you have Two Thrones, and then Battles of Prince of Persia, which I think is a DLC for the Two Thrones. This is all 2003, 2005, by the way. Then you have the Prince of Persia trilogy, which is just a release of all of those games in 2006. Then 2007, you have Rival Swords, which I think is... and Prince of Persia Classic, which I think was just a re-release of the... yeah, this is just a re-release of the 1989 game. Rival Swords, I think, is a DLC for the Two Thrones. And then you have, in the reboot continuity, Prince of Persia and Prince of Persia: The Fallen King, which I think is, again, I think the DLC for... oh, no, this is a Nintendo DS port of Prince of Persia. And then that's like 2008, 2009. Then 2010, you have the Forgotten Sands remaster. And then for PS3, Wii, and everything like that, and 360 and all that crap. And PSP, which came out, you know, Prince of Persia: Forgotten Sands, for the Wii, the DS, the PSP. 2011, 2012, you had all that stuff. And then you had the Shadow and the Flame remake in 2013, which gives you the second in the original continuity for remake, as far as remakes go. Then you have a bunch of other continuity stuff: Prince of Persia Escape, Prince of Persia: The Dagger of Time, Prince of Persia Escape 2, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which I thought was a sequel, which is its own standalone thing. Then you have the Rogue Prince of Persia, which just came out literally yesterday and got shadow dropped onto PS Plus. And then there's a remake of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time that still has yet to come out. But yeah, the trilogy is from 2006. The HD trilogy basically is what I ended up getting for PS3, which comes with trophy support for all three games. Which is really cool. So I could technically do the entire Prince of Persia series. I might do the Rogue Prince of Persia after I'm done with the stream, honestly. I might just end up saying fuck it and playing that before I go to bed or when I get home from work today, one of the two. But yeah, really, really cool that I could technically do every game in the series for what has trophies, basically. Actually, does the Rogue Prince of Persia have trophies? Let's go back on to PSN profiles really quick. Go to games. Prince of Persia. So there is, obviously, like I said, there's the Sands of Time remake, which is just stuck in unreleased hell, basically. So there's Prince of Persia from 2008, which has trophy support for it with 61 total trophies. Then there's The Warrior Within, The Sands of Time, And then the Two Thrones, which all have trophy support. Two Thrones has 18, Sands of Time has 16, and then Worthen has 20. Again, these are games that really got just a quick remaster with some trophies. Didn't really get given a whole lot of trophies to them, but that's fine by me because it might make it a little bit easier to go through them in quick succession. Depending on how much I have to actually do for them. I'm pretty sure it's more or less just beat the whole game for both of them. I think that's literally all you have to do. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the vast majority of what I have to do. Is just beat the game, basically. And then I'll get all the trophies. And then obviously you have the Rogue Prince of Persia, which just came out. Then you have the Lost Crown, which came out last year, I believe. Yeah, last year in January. So in total, not counting the Forgotten Sands remake that's unreleased. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 total games. That can be done, which is pretty cool, actually. But yeah, right now the Prince of Persia remake is basically, like I said, in just development release hell. I don't have the Forgotten Sands, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, yeah, so I have the Lost Crown on PS5. So there's one. Then I have Prince of Persia on its way. Then I have the Two Thrones Worth and Sands of Time. So yeah, I'm missing the Forgotten Sands still. And then obviously the Rogue Prince of Persia. And then Sands of Time is getting a remake, which only adds like 9 more trophies. So the only one I still need to get is Forgotten Sands, which I need to actually see if I can find on Mercari really quick. I'm just going to look this up real quick just to see. Okay, there's actually some decent copies of it, so I can pick that one up at a later date and complete the collection. But I do have the remake, or the reboot on its way with another game that I will talk about another time probably. And then I have the trilogy, complete trilogy remasters of the Sands of Time trilogy. And then, yeah, and then the Lost Crown. So I've got a lot, and I can play a lot. And then obviously, like I said, the Rogue Prince of Persia that just got shadow dropped onto fucking PS Plus extra. I don't think anyone expected that one. Not gonna lie. That was definitely not expected because it literally just released. And that's the thing is I like that rather than just doing every single game day one release on PS Plus, they're doing like very. They're very much choosing like what they're gonna do it on, and it's never really announced. It's just kind of like, yeah, here's this day one release. By the way, have fun. Yeah, so that's my mistake. I forgot about the Forgotten Sands because I forgot that's not included in the trilogy. So I still need to pick that one up. But other than that, I do have the entire series, so in one way or another. crazy too, because Ubisoft, after the Lost Crown released, basically they shut down the studio that had made it because they were like, it didn't make enough money. And yet they're still trying, like, in their standards, in their eyes, basically, it didn't make enough money. I think it still made a lot of money, just not enough for them to warrant it as, like, a quote-unquote success. Which is really funny that they're still trying to do the Sands of Time remake, even though it's like, yeah, you guys have this shit set up, even though, like, you're still trying to release this, even though, like, you shut down the main studio for making these games. Like, what? It's very, very Ubisoft, to be honest. It's very Ubisoft of them. It wasn't quadruple A enough. That's why they shut down. That's why they shut down the studio behind the Forgotten Crown, or the Lost Crown. It wasn't triple or quadruple A enough. I love just, like, randomly completing shit without even paying attention. Oh my god, see, this job's not bad. Except for all the fucking tiny pieces of it. Oh, man. Oh, it's taking forever. Ah, that fucking just quick ping of like 3 different things at the same time. So satisfying. Do I not have scaffolding on this level? Do I just have that in the ladder? Oh, that fucking blows, bro. I don't think it'd be as bad if all these little fucking pipes weren't their own thing. Like, if they were just a part of whatever they were on, I think it'd be better. God, so many fucking dings, dude. Come on, what the fuck am I missing? Oh, nothing on that apparently. There we go. I'm just gonna try to focus on getting some of the bigger shit cleaned, and then we'll focus on the small stuff when it comes to it, I guess. God damn it. What the fuck am I missing on the roof, man? Oh yeah, that'll do it. Alright. Bellows motor. I guess we'll try to get this because it's literally 1% off from being done. Cab rear wall is 1% off from being done. There we go. Engine crankshafts. The engine furnace outlets. Okay. Okay. The furnace itself. There we go. Reactor, 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 reactor. Reactor, reactor. I'm just trying to make sure that everything I've got... I'm trying to get to the point where everything I've got to do is specifically on the reactor. Reactor. Okay, I think it's all just reactor stuff now. So, let's get to it. Ladder. Let's do this with this. Just see how much of this we can get through. I didn't get nearly as much done as I was hoping to, but still isn't bad. Let's go to the long extension. This ladder, throw that there. Okay, so it's all one thing. That's good to know at least. So every little bit of cleaning on this that I do is for the one thing. It's not like there's like 70 different fucking pipes. That's good. Alright, reactor car cooling vents. Nose base. The time loop knives. That's these, right? Which one did I miss? Oh, it's this one down here, isn't it? Yep. Okay, there's that done. Time to figure out what the fuck I'm missing on this cooling vent. Fucking finally. My ladder's disappeared. Because both my ladders are still leaning up against that, so they just disappeared when it fucking ended. That's funny as hell. Alright, we're not gonna watch the time lapse. That's a lot of extra work, man. There we go, though. We've officially finished the entirety of the Back to the Future DLC. Which means 3 more DLCs, technically speaking, because these will never be 100% finished. Those are like a free play. There's like free play set of DLC missions. It brings us to a total of 57 now. Now let's go back to the main game, into the career mode. And for this, we need to complete the toilets, lids, and seats last. So first things first, I am using the Prime Vista 3000. I do have the Prime Vista Pro now. We have the short extension, and we have all but the soap nozzle on this one, I think. I believe that's all I'm needing. Hold up. Actually, can I buy another thing for it? Or am I short still? So we have the 1500 extra long, the turbo, the short, the long, the XU2 turbo soap for the Prime Vista. We have the 3000. We have all of these up to the max. All of these up to the max. Those are all done. Those are all done. Okay, so the next one's 900, and we're at 880 right now. We're actually going to buy cleaning liquids if I can. Okay, I can't buy cleaning liquids. So there is a total of 4 toilets, seats, and lids. All of those need to be the last thing. It should say at the end, times 4 for those at the end. When I come up to finish it up, I should end up with those times 4 sitting to my left, where the final few taskbar things go. As far as I know, this is a fairly small job compared to some of the stuff we've done recently, both in the base game and what I've been doing in the DLCs. First tile floor done. There's the first sink. Second sink. And the third sink done. There's that tile floor done. 1 second, I'm getting... So... Oh god, there's so much fucking dirty shit still. Genuine question though, do they not have a janitor in this universe? Like, even with what the story is, it still makes no sense to me that there's not janitors in here in somewhere. So 1, 2, 3, 4 all have to be done separately. Or at the end, I should say. We're just gonna go about getting this done. Is that... Did I see that correctly? Hold up. Back up. So there's 3 sinks there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 12 things to go to the bathroom on. 12 between the fucking urinals and the actual stalls to go to the bathroom in, with 6 total sinks. You have half the sinks that you have of things to actually go to the bathroom in. What kind of backwards ass washroom? Like, I know obviously they can't have like a shitload of sinks, but you'd expect a little bit closer to like the number. Like, when you go to a bathroom at like a grocery store in the United States, like, there's like 2 to 3 urinals max, and then like 3 total stalls. 2 normal stalls, and then a handicap stall normally. At most is what you get. You get at most 2 to 3 urinals, and then 2 to 3 stalls with 2 of those. If there's only 3, or if there's only 2, 1 of those being normal and 1 of those being handicapped, and 2 of those being, if there's 3, 2 of those being normal and 1 of those being handicapped. So you have, and then you have about 4 or 5 sinks at normally at least. What the sweet Jesus are they doing here in Buckingham that they have 12 total spots to go to the bathroom between 4 stalls with toilets and 8 urinals, that they only have 6 goddamn sinks? I realize this is I'm complaining about a game designed to wash things in a very dirty universe, but still. Also, these are some weird fucking urinals compared to like what the US has at most places. At least on the bright side, all the water that I'm using is just going straight into the sewage with all the nasty dirt and stuff that's around it. All right. I'm sure you noticed how I haven't even like touched or set foot into the stalls yet. I'm trying to get everything else done first. That way if I do fuck up, it's more painful for me. I mean, granted, regardless, if I fuck up, I have to restart all of this anyway. Like, I have to wait until I'm finished with the job anyway to restart it and do it and try it again. So it doesn't really matter much either way. I would just like to not fuck it up and get it done in one go, as per usual. So, I'm gonna do my best here to not screw this up. Back. I wonder what else just unlocked. I'm assuming it's the Helter Skelter, because I think that's... Hold up, I'm curious. Is it the Helter Skelter? It is, okay. Shop. Let's buy that for 900. Let's by whatever cleaning liquids I just unlocked. I'm going to try not to use them if I can avoid it. Although this job so far doesn't really feel like I need them, so. Okay. That should be all the sinks and stuff done. Okay. There's that done. I don't think I need to do the cistern. I think it's just the lids, the seats, and the toilets that I have to do last. If you guys have never used one of these toilets, by the way, they are really fucking weird. Like, they make sense, because obviously there's a huge amount of water that can just rush down from up top. But they are still really weird to use, especially if you're American, because we don't see these... We don't see these types of toilets very often in America anymore. It's like seeing a toilet with a bidet. They're not very common. I try to focus on the floors first, get those out of the way in here. So glad the splash up from the water doesn't fucking affect anything. I am very curious to see what new stuff's coming in the second game now that it's getting closer to release. So I think they've done betas for it at this point. I could be wrong, but I believe they're starting the betas and stuff for Powerwash Sim 2. I feel like there's got to be some story about some dude convincing his girlfriend to do non-sanitary things on one of these based on the design, and that they both probably ended up getting many, many diseases because of it. It's one of those for all four of these? That's insane. Must bend girder. Please insert girder. I can't see the word girder without thinking about Bender from Futurama. hope my dude's in a lot of PPE. Oh yeah, so I gotta do those 2 floors. Yeah, we'll come back to it. As far as weirder levels go, this one's actually been pretty fun so far. Alright, look at that. We've got so much of this area already done. I mean, I still have the other tunnel, both tunnels to finish. The entirety of the walls and the toilets, the cisterns and the piping and bath and the stalls. God damn it, bro. It'd be cool if you could, like, tape off an area so you don't have, like, the job go too far over too fast or something. I feel like that could be a nice little touch for the sequel. So both the inside and the outside of the door frame count to the same thing, it looks like. Also, I can't help but notice there are hinges for these, but no doors. Like, that is slightly concerning. That was a bitch. That's gonna be really rough to go through for the rest of these, man. Trying to not accidentally hit other pieces of shit. Where are we at for the toilet? The toilet's not bad, the seat's not too bad, and the toilet... Oh yeah, no, none of these are that bad. We're fine. Alright, there we go. There's that cubicle done. Let's go finish this tunnel fully. And then we'll go finish the other tunnel fully, and then we'll continue on through the other areas. Alright, there's that tunnel completely done. Now let's go do this tunnel. Or let's do these walls first, actually, and then we'll do that tunnel. This job's going relatively quick. Where are we at for stream time? 3 hours? Okay. Probably gonna do this job the rest of the way. Get that trophy done. And then we'll do the Helter Skelter, get that job and that trophy done. And then that will probably be where I call the stream. Just so I can get some amount of sleep. Hopefully. Forgot I didn't finish this cubicle. Okay. Oh my god, dude. So much to do in this little... This is such a... Like, here's the thing. This is a really small job, but there's so much to do for it. Like, it's not a lot of small things, but there's, like, a lot still. Although I will say this is pretty well balanced for a single person. I've mentioned it before. I have an issue with this game where its balancing is just off at times, where it seems very unbalanced if you're playing solo, which is why I'm really hoping that Powerwash Sim 2 will have full crossplay for it, so I can at least play with my buddies on Xbox if Hunter or Noah or somebody gets this game. If a couple of my friends get this, I'm definitely going to be playing it across. Definitely, or gets the second game, I'm definitely going to be playing it with them. As long as it's got full crossplay. Which it should. I mean, it's 2025. Most games, if they have some type of crossplay, normally have full crossplay. Right, there we go. Light conduit's done too, right? Alright. Just go get this one done really quick. Go to the green nozzle, because that seemed to work really well in this area last time. That's what I've noticed. The green... Also, the white... Ooh, the white's working fine, too. The green and white tend to work better if you're in a closed off... a more closed space, where the spread is a lot stronger, because you're not spraying across such a far distance where it has more time to spread. Because if you look at this, like... the full spread is kind of hitting right where you want it to hit. It's like hitting the very point, and it's very much hitting across all of it really like tightly, if that makes sense. I guess the best way to put it is the spread doesn't have as much time to spread apart, but it's still hitting a bigger area than if you were to just use like the yellow one. But then, like the ceiling, the white one spreads too far, so you want to use the green one. But yeah, like those tunnels were like the perfect spot for the white nozzle. What the fuck am I missing on these frames? Aha. This one must be like the fucking handicap stall or something. It's a little bit bigger. I think there was a bigger one on the other side too that I just didn't really pay much attention to at the time. Let me up, you fucking stupid game, goddamn. I will be honest, I'm less worried about like the toilet itself and more worried about like the toilet seat and the lid. Those are what worry me more about what I might accidentally wash. I would have laughed if I said that and like all of a sudden I accidentally finished the fucking one of the toilets by accident. There we go. There's that wall done. We're gonna then do the entirety of the urinal sections. Get this one done the rest of the way. Then we'll do the last stall. And then once that last stall is done, the walls and ceiling and everything, we should just have the toilets and stuff to do. Let me actually just head in here really quick and get this floor done. Did I get the hinges already? Okay, I did. I just want to see if I got the hinges. The floor a little bit more cleaned up. Alright, come on. You're almost done with this one. I will say, I think this is the one I put the most time in on per stream. Like, while I think Cat Quest had the longest solo stream, maybe, of the series so far. Because I think that one went like 8 hours solid, like straight up 8 full hours in a row. I think overall, for time-wise, this one has had the most overall per stream. Because each stream has gone like 3 to 4 hours, I'm pretty sure. Except for like a fair few of them. Okay. Should just have the floors, walls, cistern, and cistern pipe in here. And the light switch and the light and all that crap and the conduit. God damn, there's so much random shit on top of the walls and doors. There's so much random shit. Taps to clean still in here. And then the minute all that shit's done, it should say toilet seat, toilet lid times 4 is all that's left. Unless I've missed something. In which case, we'll then go find the thing that I missed. God, I hate how fucking often this happens, where you miss like the tiniest fucking sliver of shit and it doesn't show up at all. I think it's funny because in this case it could actually literally be shit too. Fucking finally. Okay, missed. I'm missing something. Okay, I missed a few somethings, actually. Okay, there we go. Okay. Delaying the inevitable. This one's not terrible. I think that's the problem, is sometimes they just do something where it's like, oh yeah, this is a really cool shot of it, but it's like, you miss so much of what's being cleaned in some of these shots, and I think that's very upsetting. Alright, so for the Helter Skelter, we need to complete the objectives that have light bulbs before anything else. So, what that means... The second fairground level you'll play is the Helter Skelter. To unlock this trophy, you need to clean any items that have light bulbs on them before fully completing anything else. The items that count towards this are the sign, not the signpost, the top ring frame, and the 16 channel lights. These are the vertical metal parts that go around the inside of the level, as well as climbing around the edges and carefully leaning down and around to all the angles. Okay, so... Alright, there's the sign done. Let's go up on the very, 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 very large scaffolding. Oh god, so all of those have to be done first. They say there's lanterns? Wait, what else did... Fuck. What else did it say? So the top ring frame... And then the channel lights. Come back to that one here a second. Another set down. Come on. There we go. I'm going to pull the scaffolding around for this one, I think. Just move the scaffolding a bit, try to get the rest of the top ring thing done, and then... where's the longer extension? There we go. How many channel lights have I actually done? Currently sitting at 12 to 16. I got 4 more to do. Fuck yeah, bro. That's actually not too bad. Oh yeah, boy. I just hit over this shit again. Make sure. You know, it's funny, of all the times I've gone to fairs and shit as a kid, I don't think I've ever actually seen one of these in person. I mean, to be fair, the thing I most associate when I hear the word Helter Skelter is the Beatles song and then Charles Manson. Which maybe that's why you don't see these parks or these at parks nearly as much, is because of obviously the connotations with the Manson family. Okay. There's that done. Now, we just have the last 4 things of channel lights. And then we're done. With that part of it, at least. We still have to obviously go through and wash it all, but the trophy should pop. And that's fairly obvious too. Like, I wish I could show you guys the trophy pops on here. I don't know why they don't show up when I'm doing for the PS5 like they used to. Like, they used to show up and you guys would just kind of see like a black spot and that'd be it. But like, you guys could see the pop-ups. They just don't show up now, which is weird. Like, you used to just block out the pop-up, but now pop-ups just straight up don't show on screen, which is a little frustrating, because sometimes I kind of wish they would, so you guys could see exactly when I'm getting a trophy. Or other notification, I guess, technically speaking, as well. Oh no! When did that happen? Also, I love your power goes out and the first thing you decide to do is hop back onto my stream. Like, of all the things you could do, bro. You're just like, you know what, Cam's still streaming, let's go watch. Weird. So you just like woke up and it was out? Damn. That fucking sucks, bro. Alright, there's the stairs done. Okay. Okay, first off, what time is it? We've been streaming for about 3 hours, almost 4 now. Yeah, we'll still finish this job. It shouldn't take too much longer, hopefully. I will say, though, this thing looks really fucking fun. Maybe this is a more, maybe the other reason I don't see this at fairs and shit is maybe this is more like of a British, carnival fair thing. Who knows? Who knows? Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this stream here. And then I'm going to finish this job off camera. And then the next stream that we pick up will be the next job. We'll be starting the next job. So I think I'll finish this job up off camera, and then I'll start the DLCs, start getting through the last 2 that I'm not going to be doing on camera. And then the next stream, you guys will see me do the next job in the story, the Shrek DLC starting. And hopefully, honestly, if we can, maybe finishing the Shrek DLC too. I don't really know how much there is to that one, but basically, that way I can get this job done in my own time while I have something playing in the background to keep my mind distracted a little bit more, so I'm not just like focused solely on Powerwash Simulator. And so I can try to get through this a little bit faster. I feel like that's what we're going to do. If I've been streaming for a long time throughout the stream, and it's like, complete this thing on this job first, I'm probably going to take the time to go just do that off camera. If it's, like I said, if it's really late, I mean, in the stream, and we're just doing a thing that says start this, or do this first on this job, we'll probably do it that way. Especially if we had one where we had to finish a full job to do one that had to be ended with something like we did this time, where we had to do the ending of, we had to do the toilets and stuff last on the toilet, or on the washroom job. And then this one requires us to do the lights, anything with the light bulbs on it first. I feel like that's a nice, easy way to help myself out with not having the streams go too much longer than they usually do, and also going longer than what I feel comfortable doing in a day at this point. Because again, these streams have been the longest ones I've been doing this whole challenge. I feel like. So it's like, I could obviously keep going and keep doing it, but it's like, I already do a lot more time on these streams than anything. And I do want to stream later today when I get out of work. So I think that's what I'm probably going to do, is just get this done off camera, start the Alice in Wonderland or the Wallace and Gromit DLCs, get those started up and going, and hopefully finished within the time before I do the next stream, or at the very least like half finished on one of them or both of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I'll see you all in the next one, where we'll be moving on to whatever's after the Helter Skelter job. I think it's the monster truck after this. And we're at 59 total trophies, with 29 of those being in the base game. So we have 12 more to go in the base game before we're done. It's either the private jet, which has a complete this first, or the monster truck next. I don't know for sure. But so far, job-wise, we have the private jet, the monster truck, the Ferris wheel, the subway platform, the ancient statue, the ancient monument, the fishing boat, and the RV again, I believe. And then we're done with all the jobs in the base game. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all in the next one. We're actually very, very close to being done with this. So I think maybe 1 or 2 more streams if I'm lucky, and we'll be moving on to Quest Hunter. So stay golden. Peace.